Welcome back, folks. So you're probably thinking, well, they're getting that thing ready to go to the dyno, which we are, but not so fast. So last time you saw, we were running this thing and I had a few issues. One was with the coolant temp sensor. It kept reading at least 50 to 60 degrees off from what the actual temperature was. I think I may have, I don't know yet, but I looked at this sensor, looked the part number up. It is a Holley sensor, but it reads, I believe, in Celsius. So that may be my issue. My friend Dave Owens back in Texas, he's an LS guy, but he actually brought that up. And it may just be that I have the wrong sensor. So I ordered another sensor, the same sensor that the snipers use, and it showed it to read in Fahrenheit. So we're gonna find out about that. But the big reason why this thing's on the engine stand is we had the low oil pressure issues. I'm not comfortable with where the oil pressure was on this thing at a hot idle. 12 pounds is just not gonna cut it for me. I know a lot of people, they've ran them that way, but I tried the thicker oil. I went to a 20W50. It didn't improve anything. So this has a stock 5.7 oil pump. So talking to some folks, what I did was I ordered, and my friends on Facebook, you guys, I really appreciate it. I went ahead and ordered the Melling, what part number is this? Let me get it out of the box. This thing was $200, by the way. It is the Melling high volume oil pump. Let's see here. Comes with the 2 springs. This says M34217 revision A, but I don't think the way they package this thing in here from Summit. Okay, it's the 10342HV right there. And by talking to everybody, even some of the Hemi guys on YouTube seem to say that this was, they talk about a Hellcat pump, but this is it. This is the one. So we're going to install this oil pump. Now, there's a couple things. I read the instructions on this. It comes with 2 springs, and it tells you that it's already got, this oil pump is assembled with a 60 PSI red pressure relief spring. To drop the pressure, use the yellow spring, which is this one here. And to increase the pressure, use the purple spring. Now, let me tell you, as soon as you gave this thing any kind of fuel, RPM at all, it jumped up in oil pressure. Oil pressure was great once you just gave it a little bit of gas on the throttle. But at hot idle, I just wasn't comfortable. Now, I want to say something else here. I'm just wondering, is it possible that maybe, I think there's an O-ring from the transfer tube on the oil transfer tube on this thing. I'm running a Mylodon pan with their pickup. We also had a little bit of an oil leak on the pan where the pan seals to the block. And I went ahead, just for the heck of it, I went ahead and ordered a new windage tray / pan assembly to put back on this thing. But we're about to take this thing off, and we're going to see what's going on. It could have been that it was a dumb daring mistake and that I maybe chafed a ring, an O-ring. I don't know, but we're about to find out. Third, I wanted to share with everybody, this thing was running really, really rich. And you saw a bunch of videos, if you didn't go back and look on the charger, it has a sniper. And I was running the band style O2 sensor thinking that it was sealed. It never was, and it was always rich until I saw that where I could see black soot coming out, and we resolved that by actually welding on a bung. Well, this thing was running really rich, and in all my haste, I was going way too fast. I really wanted to hear it run, and I actually left a bolt out on the headers. That's a me mistake. It's just a dumbass mistake on me, but you can see where it was actually leaking on the gasket. Didn't blow the gasket out, but I'm thinking we were sucking some air in where that O2 sensor goes. It obviously has got to be tuned. It's going to get tuned. and at Kuntz Performance in Arkadelphia when we do Dyno Day. But we're about to take this thing off. We've got to remove the Holley accessory drive system. So obviously I got to remove the serpentine belt, yay, and then the pulley. Hopefully that pulley is going to come off okay. I don't remember having a problem putting it on. But that's where we're at right now. Trish and I are about to remove this accessory drive, and then we're going to go ahead and pull the pan and see what we find. There it comes. Okay, cool. You know, I'm just wondering, I've got a remover, but I don't know how tight this thing is. I wonder if I can just maybe tap on it with my my dead blow orange hammer. Just not go crazy and stupid with it, but I'm just going to try to see if I can tap this off. I can't remember how tight this thing was, so let's just see real quick. Nah, I don't want to damage any thrust bearings. That's not a good idea. Let's do it the right way. Let's see. I'm sure it's a metric. Okay. Yeah, that's the right thread. So anyway. So I didn't have any leaks here. I didn't see any on the stand, but look at all that oil right there. So why? Why? Not sure. It may be, did I miss it when I put this on? I thought I put silicone on the edge between the block and the accessory drive, but no, it after a while it started leaking, but the seal is good. Seal held up. That's part of the balancer. I put all this in, so yeah, I don't see any issues. We're gonna keep going. Okay, I think I found a leak. Obviously, it's kind of what I guessed. I never put any silicone here, and I'm gonna guess, even though that's, you know, part of a seal, this is on me. This is on me. So I should have put some gray silicone right there, and I didn't. That is a novice mistake. Should have ever done that. I think when I was putting this thing together, just like putting it on the stand, I was too zealous. Too zealous. So that was part of our leak. So now we're going to turn this thing over. We're going to remove our pan, and then we're going to remove this oil pump. Well, we got the pan off, and really no metal shavings or anything. Just we had our basically running royal purple, but I don't have any shiny stuff anywhere, so that looks pretty good. The assembly lube, I've got assembly lube in here, but I guess that's a good sign. So this is where we're at. I'm pretty sure now the leak, obviously it was coming from the lack of silicone right here in this corner between the accessory drive. Again, my dumbass fault. But this was probably good. The windage tray slash gasket. So I'm about to unbox the new one. Let's take this off, and we're going to see how everything looks on the bottom end. All right. I have not pulled this yet. I want to see if that O-ring is on the pilot where it goes into the pump. I'm just wondering if maybe I overlooked it. So here we go. Yep, it's there. It's there. But is it fully seated? Well, it was on. It was tight. I don't know. I don't think that was our problem. The O-ring was there. So I don't see any chain marks. All right, let's pull this gasket. All right, well, we got our pump off. I could not find a darn thing wrong with that pump. The crank, I thought, what the hell? Maybe I forgot. This has 2 keyways. And you look in here, the key is in here. I thought maybe this damn thing might have been slipping. I can't remember. This is an adapter, I believe, that drives the oil pump here. It goes on the crank. I can't remember why I had 2 keyways on this crank. I don't know if that's maybe for a blower. I don't know. I'm thinking it may be. But there's a key in here. If this would have been slipping, this would all be blue and everything anyway. But no, I put my little bitty Allen wrench in there. It stops. The key's in there. You can even barely see it. So I thought this might have been slipping. I can't figure out why this had low oil pressure at idle. My main bearings were 28 thou, because I remember being concerned on my legacy engine, especially like big blocks. Of course, it depends on the diameter. You know, you take your calculations, the diameter of the journal. But I'm usually in the 3,000ths range, 28. These were like 28 and 26 on the mains. And again, this is my very first Gen 3 Hemi, guys. So bear with me. And I'm trying to share whatever mistakes I might have made. But the engine runs fantastic with but just low oil pressure. As soon as you give it gas, great oil pressure. So again, we're coming over here to show you guys. This is the new pump. This is the Melling right here. Yep, there it is. 10342 HV. So I'm hoping this will help some of my idle oil pressure. Now, it does say on the springs, I'm not going to change the spring because I had good oil pressure as soon as you're giving it gas. So I'm also hoping this is good for the lifters on these Hemis. But yeah, high volume oil pump getting ready to go in. I've already got my O-ring set in here. So we're getting ready to install it. Here's what I thought was a smoking gun. I thought, I forgot to put a gasket in this between the spacers here. But I just read up, there's no gasket that goes here. You'd think there'd be a gasket that would go there, but I'm not an engineer and I didn't design it. But no gasket goes in there from what I understand. So anyway, moving forward. All right, well, we're done for today. So what did we find? Well, found that I made some mistakes. Was missing silicone here and here. You know, I don't know. Some of you guys may not have any problems by not doing that, but I think it's pretty obvious. Big mistake on my part. The pump, I couldn't find anything. I just couldn't find anything. Bottom end looks great. Pan was clean. The pump, the factory pump, clean, no contamination. I just don't know. But this new pump is on there now. So tomorrow, Trish and I'll be putting the new, our Holley accessory drive back on. Of course, silicone it where it needs to go. One thing I did make another mistake on, I make plenty, is the replacement gasket. And you know, I really didn't need to buy one. We reused the one we had on there. But we noticed when we put this on, this one's different. It only had 2 holes here. We needed 4 where rear main seal housing goes. So this one was different. Maybe it's different for a truck than it is a car. I can't remember if this one was a truck or a car. I think I ordered this for the car. And maybe what I needed was the one for the truck. But with our pan, that was a difference. That's a mistake I made. But we ended up reusing the pump, the gasket we had on there originally. It was just fine. I think these gaskets are made to be reused. As far as the factory pump goes, I don't know. I literally do not know. I assumed that I was looking for mistakes. The O-ring was in. Everything was there. So we got the new pump. It's torqued to 35 Newton meters is what they said to torque it to. So it's torqued. And Trish and I are going to try to get this thing buttoned up tomorrow and put back on the test stand and see where that oil pressure lands us. We're going to get all the bugs we can worked out on this test stand. I got to tell you, the test stand is doing its job. Now, do you want to pull an engine back off and have to go back into it? No, but you'd rather do it on a test stand than in a car, right? Especially a newly painted car. So, you guys, I highly recommend if you're doing this stuff, you don't have to buy a test stand like that. I bought it, I think it was 8 years ago or something like that. You can make one. I highly recommend you make an engine stand, start these things up, and find the problems that we're finding on here and mistakes that I made. This thing's got to be perfect before, at least as close as possible. No leaks, no rattles, no ticking, no oil pressure issues. It's got to be done. It's got to be done before it goes to the dyno. I suspect the dyno folks, Brad at Koontz, they're going to find some issues. Obviously, it needs to be tuned. Otherwise, the engine's sounding great, but I wasn't comfortable with the oil pressure. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and you guys stay tuned for tomorrow, see what happens. If you got any questions, put them in the comments regarding the Holley accessory drive housing. Anything. So you see some issues I made that I screwed up on, please let me know. Again, I am not thin-skinned. So anyway, hope everybody has a great Saturday, and thanks for tuning in, everybody.